Okay, let's talk about increased intracranial pressure, okay? Your increased ICP is a life-threatening condition wherein nag-i-increase yung pressure sa loob ng ulo natin. Umaabot yan ng more than 20 to 25 millimeters per mercury, okay? So, ganyan kataas yung pressure sa loob ng ulo natin, okay? Ang normal kasi natin, it should be less than 10, okay? It should be less than 10. Pero kapag nagtumaas yan ng 15, okay, kino-consider na rin nila na increase intracranial pressure. Pero kapag mas tumaas pa yan ng 20 to 25, it's already a life-threatening condition, okay? So, paano nagkakaroon ng increase intracranial pressure? Wherein, sabihin na natin na pwedeng nagkaroon ng nag-increase yung brain tissue. Paano nagkaroon ng increase brain tissue? Nagkaroon ng inflammation, nagkaroon ng swelling, and merong infection. Kasi kapag may inflammation at infection, pwedeng mag-swell yung brain tissue mismo, which is pwedeng mag-increase yung size ng brain na pwedeng manyang makompress yung mga other, mga blood vessels na nakapaligid din dun sa brain natin. Okay? Next is magkakaroon ng blood dun sa may mismong brain, okay? Originally kasi wala naman talagang dugo dun sa may brain natin, okay? Pag nag-rupture yung blood vessel, pwedeng ma-expose yung brain ninyo sa blood, okay? Pag nangyari yon, pwedeng ma-irritate yung brain ninyo and mag-cause yun ng irritation, mag-cause ng swelling, mag-cause ng increase intracranial pressure, okay? And then, pwede ring mag-increase ang cerebrospinal fluid, okay? So, yung tatlo na yan yung reason kung bakit pwedeng magkaroon ng increase intracranial pressure. Okay, now, ano yung mga modifiable risk factors natin? Okay, first is head trauma. Pag nagkaroon kasi ng injury, okay, or direct injury sa ulo mo or sa brain mo, it could lead to swelling and bleeding, okay? It could lead to swelling or bleeding na pwedeng mag-cause ng increase intracranial pressure. Okay, pag infections naman, pwede magkaroon ng inflammation and swelling. Example niyan is your encephalitis and your meningitis. Okay, pagdating naman sa brain tumor, okay, originally naman kasi wala namang tumor sa brain. Okay, so pag nagkaroon ng bukol, pwede niya bang makompress yung ibang parts ng brain niyo? Yes, okay, it could lead also to your increase intracranial pressure. Okay, meron din tayong hypertension. Okay, sa hypertension kasi nag-i-increase ang vascular resistance. Okay, so pag nag-increase yung vascular resistance, mag-i-increase din yung pressure sa loob ng blood vessel, causing what? Hypertensive encephalopathy that could lead to your bleeding. Okay, hypertensive encephalopathy that could lead to your bleeding. Meron din tayo hypercapnia. Pag sinabi nating hypercapnia, excess ang what? Ang carbon dioxide sa blood ninyo, sa loob ng blood vessel. Okay, what happens is that kapag nagkaroon ng more carbon dioxide, it could lead to your vasodilation. Okay, so pag nagkaroon ng vasodilation, pwedeng mag-increase yung permeability ng blood vessel mo. So, pwedeng magkaroon ng fluid shift that could lead to your cerebral edema. Okay, so yun yung pwedeng mangyari. Okay, pagdating naman sa fluid overload, pwedeng mag-cause ng swelling yan. And then sa substance abuse, okay, stimulant kasi siya, pwedeng tumaas yung BP ng pasyente mo. That could lead to your hypertensive crisis. Okay, and then poor management of your stroke, especially kapag may bleeding yan. Okay, pwedeng mag-cause yan ng increase intracranial pressure. Okay, pagdating naman sa non-modifiable risk factor, ang age natin, kapag tumatanda, nag-i-increase yung risk. Okay, and then meron dyan, congenital anomalies. Pag sinabi natin congenital, nung pinagbubuntis pa lang, may problema na. Okay, genetics, history of stroke. Okay, yung mga na-stroke na dati, di ba? And then your structural brain anomalies. Now, na-expose yung brain niyo into your modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors. So, nag-i-increase ngayon yung intracranial volume ninyo. So, nagkakaroon ng what? Ng compression. Okay? And then, nagkakaroon ng limited compensation and then exhaustion of compensatory mechanism. Now, kapag nag-fail or napagod, okay, yung compensatory mechanism ng katawan natin, nag-i-increase yung ICP above 15. Okay, above 15. Again, ang normal kasi natin is 0 to 10 millimeters per mercury. Now, Kapag nag-increase yan above 15, ano yung makikita mong signs and symptoms? Okay? Signs and symptoms, yung pasyente mo nagiging restless, nagiging irritable, nagkakaroon ng confusion, headache, nausea, vomiting, blurring of vision, and your weakness. Okay? So yan yung mga early manifestations na kapag nasa 15 millimeters per mercury pa lang yung ICP. Okay? So, pag tumataas yan or sabihin na natin nagpro-progress, okay, pwedeng mag-decrease ang cerebral perfusion. Okay? Pwedeng mag-decrease ang cerebral perfusion pressure. Okay? Papuntang brain ninyo. Okay? So, pag nangyari yan, it could lead to your decreased supply in the brain na pwedeng mag-cause yan ng ischemia. Okay? Pag nagkaroon kasi ng ischemia, pwede yan magkaroon ng cellular hypoxia. Okay? So, pag nagkaroon ng cellular hypoxia, kukunti ang oxygen from aerobic respiration, ang mangyayari, magkakaroon ng anaerobic respiration. Okay? Pag nagkaroon ng anaerobic metabolism or respiration, kasi gagamit yung mga cells natin ng carbon dioxide for energy. Okay? So, mag-i-increase ngayon yung carbon dioxide. Okay? Magkakaroon ng lactic acid. Okay? And then, it could lead to vasodilation of your cerebral vessel. Pag nagkaroon ng vasodilation yung cerebral vessel ninyo, mag-i-increase yung what? Permeability and fluid shift. Okay? Permeability, magkakaroon ng fluid shift, pwede mag-cause ng cerebral edema. Okay? So, further increase in the intracranial blood volume, worsening of your ICP. Okay? So, pag nag-worsen pa yung ICP nyo, pwede mag-cause yan ng brain tissue displacement and even compression ng brainstem ninyo. Remember that in your brainstem, nandyan yung respiratory centers ninyo. Okay? Like your medulla oblongata and your pons. Okay? Yung medulla oblongata natin, ang nire-regulate niya is the breadth and depth of your respiration. Pagdating naman sa pons natin, nahatian sa dalawa. We have the upper pons and the lower pons. Pag sinabi nating upper pons, this is your pneumotaxic. Okay? Ang nire-regulate nito is the rhythm of your respiration. Pagdating naman sa lower pons ninyo, ang ginagawa nito, it apnostic. Nire-regulate niya yung inspiration. Okay? Or your inhalation. Now, yung brainstem nyo, pag na-compress, pwedeng ma-stimulate yung vasomotor center ninyo sa medulla oblongata na pwedeng mag-cause ng vasoconstriction. Okay? So, pag nagkaroon ngayon ng vasoconstriction, what will happen? Okay? Nagkakaroon na ng late signs and symptoms ninyo that could lead to altered level of consciousness or decreased level of consciousness. Anong makikita mo sa mata ng pasyente? Fixed dilated. Okay? Fixed dilated. And if unilateral, okay? Yung tawag dito, unilateral na dilated yung mata ng isang pasyente. 'Di ba? Dilated yung isa naka-constrict. Ibig sabihin, okay, nagkakaroon na siya ng sign of herniation. Okay? Herniation. So, ano rin ang makikita natin sa motor changes? Pwedeng naka-decorticate yung pasyente ninyo. Kung makikita nyo dyan sa picture, okay, na naka-decorticate, okay, eto, that's decorticate, okay, decerebrate naman to, okay? So, pwede rin ba magkaroon ng seizure yung pasyente ninyo? Yes. And then, pwede ba mag-positive yan sa Babinski reflex? Yes, okay? So, paano nyo i-assess yung Babinski reflex, okay? Nagkakaroon ng curling, okay? Tawag dito, normally kasi, pag i-assess mo ang Babinski reflex, kapag kiniliti mo yung paa, nagle-letter C. Okay? Nagle-letter C. Yung pa-curve niya. Pero kapag abnormal na kasi, yung Babinski reflex mo, nagkakaroon ng extension. Okay? Parang nagkakaroon ng fanning nung paa niya. Okay? And then, we have your Cushing's triad. Okay? We have your Cushing's triad. Ano to? Your widening of the pulse pressure. Okay? Widening of the pulse pressure. Ano pa? Irregular breathing and your decreased pulse rate. Okay? Pag sinabi nating triad kasi, tatlo yan. Okay? Para siyang ganyan. This is your what? Hypertension. Okay? Kasi wide yung what? Wide yung kanyang pulse pressure. Okay? Yung pulse pressure. And then we also have your what? Bradypnea. Bradypnea. Medyo babagal yung paghinga. Sobrang shallow lang yan. So, irregular breathing. Okay? And then lastly, we have your decreased pulse rate or your bradycardia. Okay? So, yan yung pwede mong makita. Okay? So, pag hindi pa rin na ma-manage, it could lead to coma. That could lead to what? To your death. Okay? So, that's your increased intracranial pressure.